Welcome to another episode of Blue Review. I was getting my little drum on because that
Yeah,
intro song gets me every single time. Happy Tuesday. I know I thought it was Wednesday earlier when I was texting you, but
you did. You did. It's okay. It's
the,
I'm always thinking that it's Thursday and it's like Monday. So
yeah,
you're
the,
fine.
the days are getting jumbled. We're
Yeah.
here to talk Dodgers. Of course, as always, Greg Bergman, Parker Bell. Greg was not here yesterday, and I
Yeah.
attempted to do this by myself.
Yeah,
Uh,
how'd it go?
Well, personally, I feel that it was good. I enjoyed interacting with the chat. I feel that we all had a lot of discourse and just kind of answered some questions, a little mailbag action.
Nice.
I think, I probably yapped a little bit,
Well,
probably went a little off tangent. I had to fill up 20-25 minutes alone.
yeah.
As a
It's not easy,
rookie,
is it?
it's
Yeah.
not. It's
It's
a
not
tall
easy, is
task.
it? So that's why when all the people in the chat and all the people that are listening and be like, "Oh, you're terrible. How can you do what?" It's hard because it's hard to talk for 20 minutes straight and have no breaks and to do anything and just all the only thing you have is your thoughts and some people in the chat and that's it. It's tough. So good job.
Yeah.
Just getting through the 20-25 minutes. That's a tremendous thing. So good job. Either way,
Thank
no
you.
matter how it went, it was amazing. Good
I
job.
appreciate it. You sound like my
Yeah.
dad, which he's probably watching. So hi, Dad.
Hi, Mr. Bell.
Yes. Before we get started, I know we got a lot to talk about. Let me just say, as always, that we are presented by LAX here at the Blue Review. LAX, the Los Angeles International Airport's always changing, making things better for the traveler's experience, reducing traffic, saving guest time, just making that travel experience better for everyone. So, Greg, if you or anybody who is watching want to know more, you can find that out at flylax.com/transforminglAX. Okay. So,
Yeah,
and
nice job. It's a good read
thank you,
too.
thank
Well
you,
done.
thank
Yeah,
you.
like making it kind of your own. You know the talking points. Good job.
I
It's a
didn't have
po-
my
it's a
laptop.
positive it's a positive day today, Parker. We're going to only give you positivity
I love that. I love
today.
that. Even though there were meetings, there were all this. It's a positive
I
day.
left the meeting. I was actually at the sales meeting. I left the sales meeting to come sit here and do this with you. So,
We want
this
to
is
talk.
important.
We
This is
want to talk
important place.
Dodgers with you in the
Yeah.
chat. Speaking of, join the chat, ask questions, send us any of your thoughts, comments, concerns. Yamamoto, Glasnow, they're going to be starting and sold. You've got Gavin Lux still with the Yips. We can talk about the Yips a little bit later, but all this stuff going down. So if you have any questions, send them Greg's way, send them my way, and we will get to those. Thank you for joining us today. But Greg, to start, how we doing? I mean, I didn't get to see you yesterday, so it's just
No,
how we doing? How'd the start of the week go?
No, everything's been going well. Like, I mean, I saw you outside of the Blue Review, so
True.
we did converse in that sense. Sorry, wait, I have to be positive. I forgot. He said positive only, but yeah, no, it's been a good week. We went to the Kings game yesterday. Hung out with uh, Graham. Graham came by and was hanging out there a little bit with his boys. They are very funny people. So if you know Graham Metzger at all, you can say that all three of them are like the same dude, and that's funny. I love it. But otherwise, it was great. You had a fun time yesterday doing solo? Everything else good?
Yeah, I've had fun doing it solo. I had fun interacting with the chat. And then yesterday, I got to kind of send my girlfriend off to Mammoth. She's doing a little snowboarding trip.
Solid.
She's on her X Games mode while I'm out here grinding, doing some work. So a little jealous,
Yeah,
but it's okay. It's okay.
there you go. And the Dodgers are grinding. See, this is how we transition. So the Dodgers grinding, and they're going to be going to Seoul pretty soon. I think they leave in the next day or so. So maybe I think they have to be there by the 14th. So because they got a couple of games against the some of the Korean teams.
Hmm.
So they have, I know they play the Kaiwoom Heroes on Saturday, so that's going to be going on. But I'm actually kind of surprised. I want to know what you think. So I'm surprised that it's not going to be Yamamoto in the first game. It's going to be Glasnow. They're going Glasnow, then Yamamoto instead of Yamamoto Glasnow. Yu Darvish is pitching first for the Padres, and I thought by going over there, by going to Korea and having Yamamoto versus Darvish would be a huge thing to be done in out there. So
Hmm.
it's surprising to me. And also, if you give a guy a $325 million, you're expected to be the number one starter from day one. You're making more money than Garrett Cole. You're the number one starter. So I don't think it's anything against him in any sense. They just maybe want matchups or things like that. And it's also obviously game 1 and 2, so it doesn't matter. But I was a little surprised to not see Yamamoto in the first game.
Yeah, I think with Glasnow, if I remember reading this tweet correctly, it's only really his second opening day start in his career. I'll go ahead and fact check that in just a sec. But if that's the case, it's actually even more surprising. You know, the fact that you, like you mentioned, you pay this guy over 300 million, and you guys were mentioning on the Mason and Ireland show yesterday that the ESPN's top 100 came out. He's somewhere in that middle pack. Not only do you want him to be an opening day starter, you want him to be like a top 15, top 10 player in the league if you're going to be paying that money. So I guess he'll just have to kind of prove that. And maybe this is what this is. Hey, just get out there game two, do your thing, show us what you got in a real game, meaningful game. And I mean, I get your point about, you Darvish and Yamamoto going against each other, kind of that NPB uh,
Yep.
mix-up, and it would have been really cool. But Glasnow currently, probably the more polished pitcher and the most polished pitcher who's healthy on this squad. And I know he said there's no plan as to how long he's going to go. I was listening to him, doing his little scrum after the few innings he pitched the other day, and he was just mentioning we've been doing 70-ish pitches so far, and maybe that'll be the plan, but maybe I go longer. I'm just ready to do what I got to do. So Glasnow, game one, we'll just see. He's doesn't have much of a track record versus the Padres in the NL, obviously, just being with
Of
the
course.
Pirates
Yeah.
for a short time in his career. But Yu Darvish does have a track record with the Dodgers, and it's not too bad. 2.38 ERA, 4.5 all time. But
Yep.
the most surprising thing is the whip, under one. So he gets those Dodgers to strike out and swing a lot. How are you
Yeah.
feeling for this offense against Yu Darvish?
Yeah, like I'm not worried about the offense in the slightest and any against any pitcher. I don't. You can throw obviously Garrett Cole is going to be he's going for an MRI. We don't know what's going to happen to him, but you can throw him out there. You can throw Jacob DeGrom. I don't care who you throw out there. This offense is going to hit, and they're going to hit consistently. So you may be able to get one or two of the top three, but you're not going to get all three most nights. And if you get those top three, there's all the other dudes that are right behind them that are going to hit as well. So I'm not worried about the offense. I think they'll score, but Yu Darvish does pitch well against the Dodgers. He always has. It's always a game when you like they get it. They get to him every once in a while, but for the most part, when Darvish is out there, I expect low scoring. It's going to be very interesting to see what he does against that top three of Betts, Shohei, and Freeman, because Freeman has been on fire this spring. Like his batting average is still over 300, but he's just smacking the ball around. He leads the Dodgers with 3 home runs, and he also has 14 RBIs. No one's even really that close to 10 otherwise.
Jeez.
I think the highest behind him is 8. So it just that's what you are going to be seeing consistently. It's just Freddie Freeman raking left and right. His RBI total is going to be massive. His hit total is going to be massive. It's because he's going to get incredible pitching to hit behind those two dudes. So it's going to be fun to see. And against Darvish, I think they're going to be just fine,
All
especially
right.
early.
Yeah. Well, yeah, early, that's huge. And I am excited to see that Darvish versus Otani matchup just with history they have together. It's going to be really cool. And I'm seeing, for those of you in the chat who don't know, I actually just saw producer Jorge run through the studio
No way.
who's been out for a while, obviously with the birth of his new son. And it looks like he
Try
dropped
and
off a little
wave him in
pack,
here.
dropping off a package for Travis, and that's really cool to see. I don't know. I saw his
Oh,
face and I got excited.
no, as you should. I've been wanting to see him. I've been texting him a little bit. I hope he's doing okay. But that's amazing. He just had his baby, Gael.
Yeah,
So that's congratulations, producer Jorge. And if you see him, just kind of like wave him in.
I'm
So
sure he's had some time to watch some Dodgers baseball. With just being
well,
at home with the
that's
kid.
what you do when you have a baby. You sit there, hold the baby, and just watch TV because you can't
Yes.
do anything else. So, and by the way, just also to give you some flowers for you, Carlos Sanchez. Carlos, what's up, Carlos? FYI, Parker did a master class yesterday by
Oh, thank
himself.
you.
A master class is what we're talking about. That's pretty exciting for you too.
You're my man, Carlos. Thank you.
So okay, so we got the Soul series kind of figured out. Did they say who's pitching in game 2? Is it Musgrove?
Correct. Yeah, Yamamoto versus
Yeah,
Musgrove.
that's right. Yeah, so that's what they smacked Musgrove around the first time I saw
Game
him.
one, right?
Yeah, game 1. They just smacked him around. It was wonderful. I mean, game 1 of spring training doesn't mean anything, but it was
Yeah.
just so nice to see because that dude too, Musgrove. He's from San Diego, So just hitting around a San Diegan makes me happy.
So I guess kind of looking more into that series, we can kind of get into some questions in just a sec, but we need to discuss, the elephant in the room. It's just not getting better. Gavin Lux and the Yips.
That's a problem.
I know at first we were afraid throwing around that term, but it's just clear as day now that there is something mentally that is going on. There is a block in that chain, in that throwing motion. That's just it's tough to watch because the fielding is fine.
Well, no,
I mean,
I wouldn't even. I wouldn't say the fielding fight. I'm not trying to disagree with you. It's more so that he dropped the ball yesterday. Like it was a pop up that just fell that he didn't get to, and that's something. It's in his head. He is fully. His confidence is so shot right now that all of that is now becoming a problem. So not getting it to first base cleanly, even at second base now, is more of a problem. That he's throwing guys wide left or wide right. That's a problem. Then when you're dropping balls, it's a problem. And then your offense is not, your batting is not good enough to maintain that type of thing in the field. So he's batting 310 right now, or 308, somewhere around there for spring training, which good, he's getting singles. But if you look at his slug is the exact same. He's batting 310 and his slug is 310. And that means it's singles. He's not showing any power. He's not showing anything really all that amazing at the plate.
Oh, here we go. We got Jorge in the building. Let's see if he can come on in. Jorge, there he is. Welcome to the Blue Review. What's up, fool?
Not with Parker. What's up, fool?
Okay, now, Greg, this is going to be a little disappointing, but on my end, I have lost sound. So you might have to carry this on your own. For all those watching, I don't know if you can hear me, but we will be right back. All right, chat. Can we hear Parker Bell? If that's the case, how we doing, everybody? We apologize for the technical difficulties. I know that things can get a little tricky sometimes. I'm getting a little bit of sound from Greg.
I can hear you,
and I can hear you. I think we might be back. Did Jorge break the?
Oh no, Jorge just ruins the whole thing. So, but at least we're back on now. Let's just cut this out when you put it up, when you post it. We don't need anybody to see that. I know you can't do that because it's a live stream, but hey, things happen. This is what happens with a live stream. But we were talking about Gavin Lux, and so what about?
Yes.
So how are you feeling about it? What do you think the Dodgers should do at second base, if he's going to be a problem? What do you think you should do?
So we've obviously thrown this around many times. We've thrown out multiple scenarios. If this continues on, I'm. This is a positive Tuesday, right? So I'm trying to remain positive. I'm still along the lines of
you can be honest. This is the Blue Review. We are honest here around here. We're real Dodgers talk. If you think there's something wrong, you'd say it.
Okay, so yes, obviously something is wrong, but I still want to give him a chance. I know that might sound crazy, but I want to give him a chance at second to get a real meaningful game under his belt. Sometimes the mental block can get thrown out of the way if you just actually like get thrown into the fire. And right now, this is more of like a tryout sort of sense. And because he's thinking about it so much, he's so anxious. There's so much anxiety, and like one little error leads to embarrassment, which then leads to, I'm doing my sports psychologist thing here, leads to over control, another bad throw, fear, and it just continues to cycle. I feel if he actually got a chance and somebody backed him, maybe in the coaching staff, that, fear and everything could kind of go away. So I want to see him have a chance, but then I also want to see a short leash. So if he screws this up at the Seoul series, pull him out, Mookie back to second, Miguel Rojas, and then we just figure stuff out from there.
See, okay, now you're moving other guys around. Now you're moving Mookie Betts around. The way that I look at it with Mookie going to shortstop is that he said, okay, if you're going to move me to short, I am now the shortstop. I'm going to do everything I can at shortstop. I'm going to be the best shortstop possible. Don't move me around. I think there's only one way this whole thing works out, and I think a lot of this has to do with Dave Roberts, too, and feeling a little bit of pressure on his job. Like, I cannot screw this up. He pulled Gavin Lux from shortstop to second base quickly. There was a couple errors. He was having some problem, and they said, nope, you're done. It's obviously you can't do this at a consistent level. We'll throw you on second. He's having problems at second now. Now it's a bigger thing. So you can there's two things I think you should do here. Leave Mookie at shortstop, see how he does, and let that all go. And then maybe move Rojas to second or have somebody else play second. There's a bunch of guys. Kike can play it a little bit. You have a little bit of mix and match kind of thing. Mookie can go back to second if you like. But otherwise, go trade. Go make a trade right now. Go to the Brewers. Get Willy Adames. Get somebody in. He's on a contract year. It's all done. So you can just go out there, get him. Move Lux, some prospects. Go get him because Dave Roberts has to be looking this as if I can't afford screw-ups. I need to go out there and have this team clicking on every single cylinder every single night. The pressure behind them is going to be huge, not just from us Dodger fans, but from the nation, from the whole league wide. Everybody's eyes are on here, including the whole world's eyes with Shohei here, is looking at you. So if it's not clicking all the way around, there's a problem that's an easily fixed problem. They have to go out and do it.
I agree. And, it can be difficult when you are supposedly this top prospect and things are going on like this, but the Dodgers don't have time for difficult because they are in a win now mode. The deals that they made means that they need to win quick, and it needs to happen because you also want to impress Shohei when he's, his first year here. He's dealt with so much loss. You want to impress the guy and show that you can succeed in the playoffs. I know we're getting ahead of ourselves, but that's just what you want to do this year for Shohei and the Dodgers. So moving forward a little bit, I saw a question in the chat. I'm sorry we haven't gotten to you guys. I know we had our little technical difficulties, but somebody did ask earlier, and I want to kind of get into that. It was Alex Reyes in the chat. He said, do we know the starters for the games here in LA for opening day, the domestic opening day, as they're calling it? It hasn't been announced, but who do you think will be those 3 to 5 spots?
I think for the most part, there's going to be enough time in between that it probably is going to be the same guys coming back and going again. Yeah. So, or they can go, might be Bobby Miller. There's going to be other guys. All the rest of the starting rotation is going to get in, but it very well could go right back to Yamamoto and Glasnow in some sense, one way or the other.
Yeah, no. And if you were to just pin down a number 3 for sure, it would of course probably be Bobby at the moment.
Most likely, yeah, because Walker Buehler's not ready yet. I don't think James Paxton's going to go up that high. Emmett Sheehan's starting on the IL. There's just enough guys that Gavin Stone's been okay, but he's not going to be one of those guys. So I think and I'm missing somebody. I always forget one of the starting pitchers, but I feel like I'm missing somebody, but I don't know.
I mean, there's names been floating around. Kyle Hertz, for example. They're not going to throw Yarbrough in there.
No, I don't think Yarbrough will get it.
Yeah, I think we've pretty much hit on everybody, though. I mean, besides just that bullpen, some of the injuries in the bullpen.
If you're going to start when it's like, especially the home opener is going to be just as big as the other opener. So I think Yamamoto gets the home opener start. I think you're going to see a lot of the same names there, and until Buehler gets back in, I don't think it's going to be kind of mix and match for the most part.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm glad you brought that name up. Speaking of Buehler. So there was a tweet, and this was from Jack Harris. Jack Harris joins the Stano Cap Show all the time. He's got his own Substack over there, Dodgers Talk and everything.
That's Blake Harris. That's
Blake Harris. Oh, yeah. Excuse me. So that's Blake Harris. Jack Harris, just a beat reporter,
for the LA Times. Yeah.
For the LA Times, had a tweet about Walker Buehler's comments going into the spring training or coming out of the spring training, and he says he kind of wants to sneak in a couple Cactus League games near the end of spring. Do you have any issues with that? I mean, if he's feeling fine, just let him go for it, right?
Yeah. If he feels fine, good enough to pitch in a Cactus League game, and the training staff feels okay for him to pitch in a Cactus League game, then yes, go do it. If one side does not feel right, don't do it, because he doesn't need to come back right away. There's no reason for him to rush his way back. So just go back when you're ready. If you want to throw a couple innings, yeah, cool, get it in there. So, but if not, just wait it out. You can come back up and pitch. We need you pitching at a high level in the middle of the summer and in October. That's all that matters. The offense will get you all the way to the end of the year. They'll get you to October. So all your top pitchers need to be healthy at the end.
I love that.
I see this quote, or this question from Hooper's X. It says, after spending over $1 billion in the offseason, why go cheap at shortstop? It makes no sense. They're not going cheap at shortstop. Gavin Lux was kind of the heir apparent at shortstop. He was supposed to be the guy. Last year, he had the starting job. He got injured in spring training, and that was it. So he didn't get to play at all last year. So, of course, he still was supposed to be the guy that comes in this year and be the starting shortstop. It's obviously not working. It's a problem. And so Mookie Betts, and by the way, if you put Mookie Betts at short, you're not going cheap. You're putting one of the top 5 players in Major League Baseball at shortstop. So you're not going cheap in the slightest in that sense. So, and again, if you do want Mookie to play second, go get Willy Adames. Go get somebody that is a good shortstop, has good defensively, has a good bat, and has done it for a long time. They will go out. If they can make the move happen, I guarantee they will go do it.
And I'll say this about Mookie at short. The just tropes and tropes of MLB players who came out saying, I think Dansby Swanson, one of the best defensive shortstops in the game, go, oh gosh, Mookie's coming for the Gold Gloves at short now too. So I don't know better than MLB players, and that's all I'm going to say. If they think that he's going to be a stud and that he is just naturally that gifted defensively, I'm going to believe in that. But Greg, I kind of want to end it with this piece of good news you sent me this morning. As we're kind of gearing up, Blue Reviews, spring training's coming to an end, and we're coming to the Soul Series. Baseball's back, blah, 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 all this good stuff. You sent me a tweet from the MLB, I believe it was, about a stat that the game of baseball is growing. I don't know if you have it on hand. If you don't, I can kind of give that stat. But
I mean, I can get it. But
the fact that it's growing, it's beautiful. It's an outstanding number. Here, I'll throw it up real quick. Baseball participation at 16.7 million across the U.S. right now, the highest since 2018. What do you kind of attest to this growth in the game?
I don't think that baseball ever died. It was sadly mistaken that people were saying it died. The numbers were always huge. The millions and millions of people that went to Dodger Stadium every single year was huge. Baseball was never dying. People just assumed that it was dying because it was a little bit slow. But with the pitch clock changes and everything that they're doing and how fast the games are going, they're now 2.5 hours, like pretty much every single time. It's a much better game, and people are more excited about it and watching it more and more. And it's a worldwide sport. It's in the Olympics again, and it's an it's Olympic year too. So I think all of that just goes together to show you that baseball is still huge in the United States. It's still huge throughout the world, and that it's you're wrong to say that it's a dying sport, because it's absolutely not. It is huge. It's always going to be huge. It's still America's pastime. As much as football is the most popular, it's still America's pastime.
Boom. How you like that one? From one of my favorite drops from Mason in Ireland. That's
Boom.
right.
How you like that one?
Baseball's growing. The Blue Review will continue to grow, and Dodgers baseball is right around the corner. Guys, thank you for joining us. Greg, apologies for the technical difficulties, but we made it out. We made it out. And as always, we want to thank LAX. We want to thank all you guys for coming in the chat and interacting with us. We'll be back tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat cave. Thank you. This has been Parker Bell alongside Greg Bergman. Blue Review.